Cool. So in 2010, I moved into an enormous artist-occupied warehouse. And I don't have any construction experience, but I love to bake, and there's no kitchen. So I learned carpentry and build a counter, and then I read up on electricity and plumbing and install a stove and a sink. And then the set designer from the theater on the floor below me takes me under his wing and leads me right into the beating heart of Baltimore's DIY theater scene, where I find not only something that I'm really good at, but a world where I belong. I mean, there's the set designer who looks and acts like a younger, hotter Doc Brown from Back to the Future. And there's Turtle. She is the best banjo player I have ever met, and also a stripper. And me, the deeply perverted insomniac installation artist, for the first time in my life, I totally fit in. So 30 or 40 of us get to working on this enormous immersive play. When I say immersive, I mean that the audience physically moves through the play, scene by scene, like a haunted house. It follows the story arc of the hero's journey. So, you know, the call to adventure, and then the various trials that lead the hero to return home a changed person. We break it down into 20 scenes and divide the theater into a labyrinth of rooms. I'm put in charge of room number 13, in which the hero is tempted to stray from their journey, the nihilism room. And I'm gonna build a seedy 1920s speakeasy brothel, and it's gonna be creepy and sexy, and the floor is gonna rotate. So I paint the walls of my room burgundy and purple and then splatter them with shellac to make them look greasy. I mop the floor with dollar store fruit juice until it's disgustingly sticky. I spray perfume and hang a crooked chandelier, and me and Turtle and a few other girls, we wear mismatched vintage lingerie and serve the audience drinks and salacious comments and seductive smiles. And theoretically, this is acting, but I literally have a crush on everyone, so. Just as soon as the audience starts to adjust to the room, the floor that we're standing on starts to slowly rotate, just enough to make everyone suddenly disoriented. And this is just one of 20 rooms. We have crowds lining up every night. Our picture makes the cover of the local paper. And I feel like everything in my life has led me to this show. I mean, I've found this creative family that I feel cosmically bonded with. And together, we've made something bigger than ourselves, something alive. By closing weekend, I feel like I have to make some sort of grand gesture to express my love. So I bake a cake. I spend all of Saturday in my homemade kitchen baking the most insanely delicious carrot cake from scratch. I figure I'll come back tomorrow morning and ice it before the final matinee. So that night after the show ends, performers from all of the other steps in the hero's journey spill into my room, the nihilism room, where the whiskey bottles that we empty just blend right into the set. And I guess that a lot of that whiskey ends up in me. And I guess that a lot of time goes by. Because at a certain point, I realize that it's just me and this one hot actor, and we are totally making out. Does art imitate life, or does life imitate art? I don't know anymore. I go home with the actor, and as soon as we tumble onto his bed, his girlfriend walks in. She looks at him, and then she looks at me. And then she smiles and unbuttons her shirt, and I am like, oh, hell yes, I am about to have a threesome. This is so in character. And I'm just letting the scene play out. I am already planning the story that I am gonna tell about this, and then I remember the cake. The sun is already rising, and I know that if I go through with this, there is no way in hell that I will make it home in time to ice a cake before the matinee. It's one or the other, threesome or cake, and I've got a hand in my hair and a hand on the small of my back and 2 hands on my hips, and I had hand grated those carrots. And I can feel lips on my neck and fingers fumbling with the straps of my garter belt, and I had soaked the raisins overnight in 140 proof rum, and now I can feel my bra strap slide off my shoulder, and I had seasoned that batter with the finest cinnamon I could shoplift from Whole Foods, and it is now or never. I have to decide, threesome or cake. So the next morning, I walk into the theater, and my creative family gives me a hero's welcome. And together, we dig into that beautiful cake with our bare hands. I am home, and nothing has ever tasted so good.